Hello, welcome to the On the Edge. I'm your host, Brandy Deutsch.
Hi, I'm Dee Dee DeMayo, your co-host. So happy that you joined us. Light, love, and blessings.
Today, guys, we're going to be talking to Brooke Booker. Let me say that right, Brooke. Brooke Booker, right, about Ayurveda. And Ayurveda is an ancient mind, body, spirit practice to stay healthy and happy. Welcome, Brooke. We're so glad to have you today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for coming and joining us. I'm so excited.
Yay.
This is going to be a great show because if you don't know anything about Ayurveda, you're going to learn from Brooke today some really simple things that can help you with just everyday life challenges, health-wise. And Brooke, so the first thing I want to know, Brooke, we're just going to jump right in. So I want to know what motivated you to start learning about and helping people with Ayurveda.
Sure. So my mom was my first yoga teacher, and she took me to Kripalu in Massachusetts when I was like 20 years old. And, there they have morning meditations and they eat a certain way and there's no meat on the property. And, at that age, I think I kind of associated it with that hippie yogic lifestyle. It was only in my second 200-hour teacher training that I was introduced to what it really was, Ayurveda. And it made so much sense to me that, healing and balancing our bodies and lives in sync with nature, that just made sense. So that started my path. It took probably 10 years actually to get to where I wanted to be. I have 5 kids between my husband and I. So going to California or Colorado was kind of out of the question. So we, Sharon Cap over at Houston Yoga and Ayurveda offers a program there for Ayurvedic Yoga Therapy. She's a practitioner. And so when she started that school, I was jumping right in. So I was really excited to have something close to home.
Awesome. That is exciting because when you've got a big family, there's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
So what is Ayurveda? Can you explain to our audience what it is and like what it means?
Sure. So Ayurveda actually translates into life science. It is the sister science to yoga, along with Jyotish, which is the Vedic astrology. And so Ayurveda kind of the sages wrote Ayurveda looking at nature around us, and it's all based on the 5 elements, and that's ether, air, fire, water, and earth. And each of us have this very specific combination of these elements within us, which then they categorize as 3 doshas called Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So we all kind of come into this earth as one of these things, and we create imbalances through lifestyle, dietary things, routines, and these elements become imbalanced. So if you suffer from inflammation in the body, you have too much fire. If you have some digestive issues, maybe you suffer from constipation, there's a wind issue, the vata. If you're gaining weight or maybe you have thyroid issues or there's some sort of heavier imbalances, that would be earth and kapha. So we look at these things and kind of, it's like a puzzle. Each person's like one of those little cubes, right? You just kind of got to line them up to make the person come back into their natural state of balance.
That sounds so simple and so easy, right? I mean, it's almost it's logical,
It does.
Oh, well, yeah. And because I feel like because we kind of come from the earth, like it would make sense that there are earth remedies, right? Or elemental remedies.
We're the only species that doesn't live by the laws of the sun and the moon and this daily routine that happens. We say, okay, well, I can stay up late, I can eat what I want, I can do this. No other animal in nature behaves that way. And this, I guess, ability to have the ego and to have free will, we tend to really not pay attention to when our body is giving us those signals that, hey, something's not right here.
Yeah, sometimes we really screw it up.
We do. Everybody's guilty of it. And that's why a dosha is actually, it translates to the faults. And every person has a dosha, right? Every person has a fault. So you just have to know your boundaries, your body, discover which dosha you are, and then you'll learn how to bring it back into balance. And that's what I love about Ayurveda. It's not as something that you need to keep coming to me for eventually. It's an education. And then you can, like for me, it works great on my children as well. You can pass it on. And I'm hoping that they remember these things I do so that they can share with their children, you know? So it's an education and a lifestyle. It's not a diagnosis, perhaps, you know, rather than.
Yeah, more like a practice. It's something that you would practice. So I want to know more about the doshas, but I want to come back to that.
Sure.
First, I want to know about some practical things that can help people. So I suffer from allergies on occasion. I know Dee Dee also. What are some things that we can do to stay healthy for like our allergies? How can we clear our sinus and keep those allergens out of our body?
Well, the daily routine, it's called dinacharya in Ayurveda. And that's really where we start with any dosha, any sort of issue. Having a good daily routine is just so important to keep our bodies in rhythm with the sun and the earth, because that's what helps us to grow, and nighttime helps us restore. So, allergies are a pitta issue. And so you want to kind of try and cool the body and create a more alkaline environment. So a couple of things you might have on hand at home: coconut water, pomegranate juice. Those are really great for daily kind of management of that inflammation. But also I love this oil here as well. It's called Nasya oil. And I get it from Dr. Vasant Lad. You can order it online. A little drop of that in each nostril if you're already suffering from your allergies. It's eucalyptus, camphor, rose. I'm sure you can find a recipe to make your own. But you just put a little drop in each nostril, and, you know, as needed, it not only clears your airways, you can breathe again, but it puts a protective barrier there. Eating warm cooked foods is really important in Ayurveda. Trying not to drink cold water, things that kind of change the body temperature in the stomach, because now the body has to heat it up in order to produce it, creating more heat and then more acid and then more inflammation. So also getting a copper mug that's copper all the way through, not like a Moscow Mule mug you can buy at HEB, but a copper mug. This will alkaline your water all on its own. So if you can keep a copper mug, you fill it up at night before you go to bed, and first thing in the morning you get up, you drink this water. It's been alkaline now, and it's really actually kind of cool in the copper. And then it flushes out the body of all of that acid and that repair work, all the stuff that it worked on all night long, gets it out. And you hopefully will have a great bowel movement first thing in the morning. And bowel movements are really important too with treating any sort of allergies. If you're not regular, we need to work on that, so your body's eliminating things and not holding on to it.
Those are great tips. Those are really great tips. I know one of the things that I learned about whenever I was teaching yoga was using a neti pot and allowing the movement of the water to flow through to not keep the allergens. That's one of the things that gets, you know, an allergen gets in the nostrils, and that's like, you can forget about it. You know, the rest of the day you're sneezing. It's awful. So how do you feel about using the neti pot?
Neti pots are great when they're needed. So if you have a sinus infection, or you have that mucus already present, and the neti pot with a little salt in it, like, that's great. You don't want to use the salt on a daily basis if you don't need it, because that too will then create dryness in the sinuses and dryness and eventually your brain, right? It's all connected. So, you know, if you are having cold symptoms and mucus and whatnot, that's great. If you're not, just, you can do it still, just no salt in it. And also, the minute you start feeling ill, my teacher told me this, and I make my kids do it now. If you sneeze more than 2 times, gargle with warm salt water outside. We make it a spitting competition, so you can spit.
I must be sick all the time. I sneeze 3 and 4 times, 20 times a day.
So that's
the practice.
So just take warm salt water, gargle, and spit it out. It'll help create a barrier in the throat. It'll help draw anything out, the pathogens. This is to do like before you're getting sick, not like in the middle of being sick. But yeah, it can help prevent it as well. And again, any sort of oil puts a barrier in the sinuses. It's very helpful.
Awesome. Really great. That's a really great tip. So you mentioned a little bit about kind of the gut and elimination. I
Mhm.
think so many people have problems with gut health.
Mhm.
So what can be recommended through Ayurveda that can help someone with, like, say, a gut or digestive constipation or
Mhm.
Acid reflux. I mean, just
yeah.
constant. That's worse than the constipation issue, I think, on many.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're two different issues. So if you have constipation and things like that, then it's a vata issue typically. If you have heartburn or any sort of burning, that's pitta, that's the fire. So you kind of treat it two different ways. But one thing you could do all the way around is eating warm cooked foods. You know, there's lots of Ayurvedic recipes out there, but even just nice soups, it's easier for your body to digest and you get more of the nutrition. And then if you cook at home, instead of using maybe an oil, try using ghee. And that's clarified butter. And it's just got so many great vitamins in it. It's very, very, very nourishing to the whole body, right? So, and it's so quick to take that nutrition all through the body, and milk kind of does the same thing. So it goes kind of exponentially fast with ghee, and it's butter. It's got that oil in it. So it's going to help eliminate if there's a constipation issue. Plus, I've heard from lots of people that the copper mug in the morning, especially, really promotes a great bowel movement.
So where do you recommend getting a copper mug? Because I know I've seen them just with the copper top or,
Right.
but
So you can get them on Amazon. You really got to look on Amazon. But if anybody's near the Woodlands area, or if you're near an Indian market, generally they'll have them there.
Oh, okay.
The little one over here on 45 at Woodlands Parkway in Robinson, they have them in there. I've sent people there for the mugs, and they're like $7. I mean, it's a great investment. I want to get a big jug so I can have it all day, but whatever.
Yeah, because I know I just had to increase the pH level on Teresa's stuff just for stomach issues and things like that, and salt retention, water balance, and stuff like that. And it also helps me. So, but buying it already, higher pH, the 9.5 or 10, it's just sometimes unaffordable. So.
Yeah.
Getting a cup is a smart move.
It is a smart move. And just one warning, if you happen to put warm liquid in here any day, don't touch it. It will retain all that heat. I grabbed it one day and my hand burned.
Oh.
So there you have big, nice thermoses you can get on Amazon too that you can just carry around with you,
Okay.
And that's part of Ayurveda. It should be mostly free. The education isn't free. But what we're doing, they're selling on the shelves in a grocery store. We can do it ourselves at home, for a fraction of the costs.
Yeah. I think that's one thing I really like and appreciate about you is you teach people how to do it themselves, that they don't always have to keep coming to you, and they learn, it's a lifestyle, and it can be done. So.
Because we are our own healers, right? We have to, even though I can give you recipes and I can give you an eating suggestion list to balance the doshas, I mean, you really have to decide this is what you're going to do. And some people don't want to. They prefer the Western route and the pills. I was just not raised that way, and I would rather figure it out on my own. And I've just always kind of had that yogic, I guess, Ayurvedic mindset. I didn't even know it, I had it, but it's great that it can be very inexpensive to take back your health.
That's awesome. So Brooke, what other kind of issues do people come to you with? I'm just trying to wonder, like, for our audience, if they have, what kind of issues would they go to Ayurveda for?
I mean, Ayurveda, you could really do anything. Now, within my scope of practice, I don't really suggest pills. I'm not a practitioner. I've looked into being a practitioner, but it's kind of moving more westernized as well. They're doing more prescription herbs and things like that. Really anything though. I've seen people with hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism. I've helped a woman after she gave birth to her beautiful baby. We kind of got her back on track. I did an abhyanga with her each day, like a lymphatic massage to help her body kind of come back into balance. Really anything, because while we talked about the Vata Pitta Kapha, it's so easy to decide, okay, what is it? I've got textbooks on all of it. So once we determine Vata Pitta Kapha, there's really nothing out there that we couldn't look at and break down into one of those three categories.
Mm-hmm. Has there anyone come to you and had like this amazing success that you didn't expect?
this is biased, I think, a little bit because it's my mom. But I've been practicing Ayurveda for a while. I just finished my certification last December, but she's been on the journey with me, and she was having knee replacement surgery, and so pre-surgery, she decided she wanted to take the turmeric tablets, and I said, okay, we don't really suggest taking the pills, but maybe put in your milk, make that nice golden milk at night that you might hear about. And so she started doing this. Well, they went into surgery. And the doctor came out to talk to me, and he says, here, look at these pictures. And all of the tissue around her kneecap was that weird orangey brown color, right? So that was her first thing that like Ayurveda is working, because it was like the turmeric had intelligence, and we know plants have intelligence, went directly to where there was inflammation, whatever. So after surgery and she got through her physical therapy, she's come back to yoga therapy with me. So the actual physical practices we do for issues like that, she is just doing amazing, and she's scuba diving in Cozumel right now. And surgery was less than a year ago, so she's just really bounced back, and she just loves coming to yoga therapy classes and kind of listening to those Ayurvedic tips that we do all the time. It helped flush her out after her surgeries, because you get so many medicines. Her gut was all screwed up after that. So we brought her back to balance a lot faster than I think she would have done on her own without this knowledge.
That's amazing. And it's so interesting you mentioned like the knee replacement. I know a lot of people having that kind of treatment and that surgery. One of my aunts just had it not too long ago, and some of my other aunts are thinking about taking it. So knowing that there are some things that can help them recover very quickly, like that's such an important, so important.
Yes. And in Ayurvedic yoga therapy, we use in a class, at one of my therapy classes, we use lots and lots of props. So, one of my favorite teachers, Leslie Kamenoff, says, it's not always about asking your students to engage something, but to be able to disengage. And I think that's really important, because we walk around like this all the time, like stressed out, going 90 miles an hour. And when you come to my class and I put you in these supported positions where you can really like start to feel that pranayama happening, start to feel the body loosening up. Now we're out of that fight and flight mode, and we can go into rest and digest, and our body can do its work, because our bodies are so amazing. They do it independently, if we give them the opportunity to do it.
Absolutely.
So, the yoga therapy for any sort of things like knee replacement, or just any sort of broken or issues in the body, muscular structure, yoga therapy is a perfect fit. If you feel like I can't do a yoga class, that's the yoga class for you then.
That's right.
That's my first class. And, I'm going to say, I've been talking to you off and on for a few months about coming to class, and there's always something. And I'm going to challenge myself on our show to show up.
I love it.
And I think I'm going to record my journey, because I just turned 60, and, my son keeps saying, you just need to be more active. And I'm like, yeah, but what do I do? I mean, because after falling and breaking my back, breaking my knee, I was like real worried. But I think, we've had a couple of shows now where we've talked about yoga. This is like, I don't have to hurt myself to become more flexible, to get the oxygen through my body and do things. So I just challenged myself on TV. I'm going. Now I have to do it.
Yeah, now I'm holding you to it. I'm going to text you every Monday and Friday when I'm over here at Om Loka, and you can come over there. It's much closer than the Conroe studio, but we'll talk about that too.
Okay.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I mean, I've been teaching yoga therapy really for over 20 years. And I tell everybody that, pranayama, you don't have to get yourself in all these crazy positions. You just have to practice the breathing. That does amazing things. I would go to assisted living facilities, and we would do it in chairs with the elderly. And it was such an amazing transformation. They would come in kind of hobbling in and shuffling in. And by the end of class, they were like, okay, see you next week. Bye.
Yeah, I know. I love it. And it's it just kind of boggles my mind how there's not more education from an early age on how to breathe. Yeah. Something that is literally life or death. We don't know how to do it properly.
Well, and I can tell you, talking about learning how to breathe, properly, something as a defense mechanism for trauma and things emotional going on around kids and stuff, I would hold my breath. Even like I can remember like if I'd get a spanking or something with a switch or what, I would be holding my breath. And it totally took me from like feeling. So, and I think that's something that follows us through life when you experience trauma, is you don't breathe. So,
right. And that's fear. Our emotions are connected to our breath. So anytime we have fear, the breath gets arrested. We hold the breath. And the other emotions follow suit. Anger, you breathe quickly. Like the heartbeat starts going really quickly. But through yoga therapy, we learn how to breathe in a way that relaxes our body, that takes us into a place where we can feel calm and we can feel like, oh, the world is not ending right now. That's an illusion.
Wow, my anxiety got away from me real quick there.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah. So that's exciting. I'm gonna help you with that journey too, Dee Dee. Whatever I can do to support you, 100%. We're gonna go to Brooke's studio. We're gonna document what's going on over there and how it works. So speaking of your studio, Brooke, where are you? How can people reach you?
Sure. I am on Mondays and Fridays. I'm here in the Woodlands at Om Loka Yoga Studio, and it's on Oak Ridge Drive. It's a really small studio. It's been there for probably almost 40 years now. Sam Dillon has owned it. It started there with John Friend years ago. And then on Tuesday, Wednesdays, it's very exciting. Alpine Yoga has just relocated in Conroe, and we've also merged with the yoga room. So if you do yoga in Conroe, you've probably heard of the yoga room. So it's kind of exciting. We're offering in that studio, they are going to have aerial yoga, I believe in the end of June, which is fun. I've never done that before, so I'm excited. And then they're also offering some hot yoga classes. And I'll have an office space there for private consultations or readings at Alpine Yoga. So it's super exciting. It's all growing so much right now. And I don't know if maybe it's kind of everybody coming out of COVID-19, the pandemic thing, but I'm finding more and more people kind of looking for yoga and meditation. And, I'm really glad that the universe brings me those that I can really help. So
I love it. I love it.
Do you want me to put your email address up? Because that'll help people get. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I'm working on a website at the moment. My girlfriend's building it for me right now, but on that Alpine Yoga website, I do have a page there on that one, and they have a description of each service that I offer. Okay. So you can also take a look at that too.
Okay. Fantastic. Do you have any workshops or events or anything like that coming up that people might be interested in?
I am working on them. So again, I'm going to go back to the 5 kids thing. My oldest just graduated. He's leaving for the Navy in June. So I'm kind of giving myself a breather until that moment. And then I really want to do some introduction to Vedic astrology workshops. I would like to do some just introduction to Ayurveda workshops. And, maybe I would really like to start just some pranayama classes. I've been thinking about that for a while, not nearly as long as a yoga class, but I'm trying to manifest that. We'll see how that looks when it comes around, so no expectations, just putting it out there.
Sometimes that's all it takes, right? Just set your intention, and then things just kind of unfold naturally in a very easy way. And I think that's what we really want to promote too, like on our show. It's, people might see this, they might go, I've been thinking about Ayurveda, and pop, there we are,
there we are.
talking to Brooke about Ayurveda. So I think whenever we set our intentions, just so many powerful things happen. And then getting ourselves in alignment is yes, intention is one, but then the other part is, what do I need to get out of my way? Because we get in our own way, just like what you were saying. We do these things maybe out of habit. Maybe somebody showed us and it worked for us at one time, and it's just not working anymore. So how great is it that we can open our minds and expand and go, what can I do different? How can I approach my health in a different way that might change things? Sometimes there might be some fear around that, but going into yoga therapy, we know how to breathe, we know how to relax, I think what you're doing, Brooke, is such an important part of being healthy. So thank you so much for what you do.
Oh, well, thank you guys for having me and letting me share my story, my passion with you guys today.
Our pleasure. And so I hope people listening can connect with you at Alpine Yoga. And can you throw up that her email address one more time, Dee Dee? I want to say it so that we can. Okay, great. So her email address is Brooke, BROOKEN .DUFF@gmail.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
And the website alpineyogaleC.com, and she does have a contact page on there as well.
Perfect. So you can get in touch with Brooke in one of those two ways. Brooke, thank you so much for being with us today. It was
You're so welcome.
It was really neat talking to you, and we hope to see you soon. We're going to go visit you over at Alpine.
Yes, come on over.
Bye, Brooke. Have a great day. So thanks so much, Dee Dee. Did you learn some stuff? You learned new stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I did. It's, we had talked about it before, and like she was saying, when before the show, we were talking about, gene keys and things like that. It's something we get in our way and put off instead of embracing. And I've been doing a lot of self-talk right now with the energy shifting and the moon eclipse, and we have an immediate solar eclipse coming up, and it's just so much going on. And one thing that you have to put priority is your health. You start listening to yourself. And do it's just small changes. I mean, there's not anything drastic,
Yeah.
And just moving. You sit on a couch, you get up and move, or just watch TV all the time. I mean, yeah, it's not good. You need to get out and breathe and move your body. So.
Absolutely. And so I also want to reach out and let people know about our light intercession list.
Okay.
If you have someone in your life, or about someone who needs prayers or energy or just unconditional love, text us or message us and let us know so that we can put them on our list. It doesn't cost anything. It's totally free. We have light workers working on this list all the time. So the number is that you can text that information to is 805-500-3343. And you can also message us at Beyond the Edge TV, and we will add them to our list, and they will get some really positive energy. And you can even put yourself on the list. Dee Dee, I'm pretty sure I put our names on that list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
I mean, we do theta and prayer and light intercession for each other, And one thing I do want to stress is we're confidential. Nothing you ever send us will be put out for the public. It's strictly, kept between us. And we don't even really talk about it between each other because there's no need. There's no need to discuss your information. So.
That's right. And just your name is enough too.
Yeah.
Just your first
or initials. Name. I mean, Creator, God knows exactly what it is.
That's right. That's exactly right. And there's energy behind that too.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an intention, and I use that quite a bit. I mean, I read energy from photographs, names. Just they don't even have to say their names sometimes, and I can just hone in on who they're talking about.
Right.
Because with the intention and the thought, like there's energy behind all of it. So you can just send us some initials or something and say, oh, they really need some healing. So I want to wish all of you long life and vibrant health. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tune in with us next week. We're going to be talking with Dr. Wong. He is an acupuncturist, and we're just going to keep focusing on more solutions for everyday issues, and just big, small, whatever. I think people are really getting a lot of benefit.
Yes. All right, y'all. See you next week.
Bye.